Aquí Soñamos, a podcast where Sam and I get on here and talk about everything that involves following your dreams, success, failure, steps, the journey, and all of the above. Right, Sam?
Yes, 100%.
Anything you want to add to our intro? Because I feel like it's different every single episode.
No, I don't think it's different. I think you hit everything
it's
at the
it's
same
it's a,
time.
it's a new version every time, keeping it fresh.
Yes,
But
exactly.
okay, Sam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jasmine, how are you?
Yeah, thank you.
We have our
All
first
right.
guest today. That's a for sure. That's
Yes.
new. That's different.
Yes. We're gonna jump right into it so we don't do awkward intros
Okay.
without the guest. But we do have our first guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
She wants a round of applause. Yeah, but I tell you, this girl. Oh my goodness, Miss Man.
What?
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
What'd she say? I'm sorry. It's hi, Jasmine. What?
I'm Sam's friend.
Sam's friend. How long have you guys known each other?
5, 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got I asked her to do my hair the first time that I bleached it because I wanted and she was a hairstylist, or she still is. And so she came over and then we just clicked, and then obviously she was still doing my hair and we just became friends, and now we hang out all the time.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. My
Yeah.
hairstylist is like a 50-year-old woman, so I'm not gonna be hanging out with her.
I mean, you guys could if you want that
No,
vibe.
okay, right? Well, she's been a family friend for a very long time, so. But okay, so Jasmine, you saw Sam was doing a podcast and you wanted to jump in, or why'd you want to be on an episode?
She pretty much was saying that they're going to be interviewing people, and it was a joke. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be your guest.
And then
And Sam said that's not a joke. Yeah, Sam said that's not a joke. You better come over.
Exactly. I think she
Of
has a good
course.
I think she has a good story. I think, she's part of my support system, like we were talking about, and she wanted to support me on this, and so I was like, "Oh, come on the show, let's
Hell
do it."
yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, I really feel like, trust me, if you feel stressed out or nerves, it's all across because like I said, you're our first guest. We're not professionals at this and we don't know how this is going to go right now. So do not feel like you have to be all like perfect on this cuz a lot of this will be edited to make a decent show, okay?
Perfect. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
When you were a kid, yes. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was a kid,
Like, did you know that you always wanted to be a hairstylist?
I mean, I used to chop up my Barbie's hair and stuff, but like I never really thought about it. I feel like I always had to have like something like super amazing like everybody else. Like, oh, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a police officer type of thing. So I think mine was I want to be a probation officer.
Okay.
Okay. So you never really felt like being a hairstylist was one of those basic jobs?
No, because I always felt like it had to be something like super super amazing. Like because of my mom, how she was like, it's like you have to be like a teacher, a doctor, or something. And I'm like,
Okay, like
so I
yeah,
want to be a
lawyer,
doctor.
yeah. Okay. Okay, but that obviously didn't happen. Did you go to college after high school or did you go straight
Yeah.
to
No, so when I graduated high school, I did speak to my mom and I told her I
mhm.
really, really wanted to do hair. I love doing hair. And my
Mhm.
mom told me, eso no es una carrera. Tú tienes que
Mhm.
ir a la escuela a hacer una carrera. And she shouted me. I was like, okay, mom. Like,
Okay.
okay. So I actually did I did criminal justice. I went
Mhm.
to school for that. I
Okay.
didn't finish. And I had a normal job. And I
Mhm.
was always doing everybody's hair and makeup in the restroom.
Of like your house, your apartment?
Work.
Oh, okay.
Out of work, putting on the makeup, braiding their hair, straightening their hair, curling their.
You were making them look good. So the people would show up a mess to work, and you'd be like, "Let's go to the bathroom. I got it."
Can
Yeah.
you do something? Like, sure.
That's funny. How long did that last though? How long did the whole like just doing a whatever job lasted before you decided to go to school for this or no? Did you go to school?
About 6 years. About six
6 years.
years. hmm
Okay.
So mainly I stopped going to school because I was helping my mom put my little sister through school. And she was
Okay.
going actually to a UC school. So
Where did she go?
to UC Santa Cruz. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I helped my mom with that. And then when my little sister graduated, I literally told her you have 2 months to find a job and I'm gonna go to
Mhm.
school. And I went to beauty school and I
Mhm.
signed up and I quit my job. I got a
Uh-huh.
brand new car because I had a little bucket car. I was like, it's not gonna make it to Pasadena and back because I live in LA. I got a new car and then I
Mhm.
started school and then I'm like, how the heck am I gonna pay for this? Like,
Okay.
like it's school, yes, I'm gonna go. And I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was so happy.
Right. Right. You
But
you
I
jumped
ended up
into
going
that
to
first
school.
step. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
No fear. She was just like, I'm doing
That's
it.
right. Took a
yeah,
tequila shot. Let's go.
yeah. No, I didn't think it through.
Agárrense.
I didn't think it through till payment came along. No, but yeah, it was really I felt like I was really scared
Mhm.
because all these little girls were like fresh out of high school, like their
Mhm.
parents were taking care of them, and I'm here with like I don't know how I'm gonna be in my car, but I'm happy and I'm here and I'm gonna do it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
Right? Um, so I feel like I waited too long
Mhm.
because I was at this point I'm like mid late 20ish,
Mhm.
20ish. Um, and I feel like I didn't know how to study, so I started beauty school, and like we think beauty school you're just doing hair, but it was
Right.
so much textbook material that I'm like, oh, what did I get myself into? Like,
Really?
no, yeah, it was a lot. Like
Okay.
learning diseases, like all your bones, like what they're called, and it's crazy. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. So I did that,
Mhm.
and then I started doing hair because we had to practice on real people. And my mom was like, "Ay, Mrs. Rayitos," and I'm like, "No, no es una carrera. You're not getting rayitos."
Right.
Jasmine said, I'm going to make you eat your words.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn. Really.
But I loved it. I loved it.
How long were you in school for?
Yeah, that was my
So
question.
here in California, you have to do 16, 1,800 hours, I think.
In school.
Yeah. So I did it in a year full time. If you do part
Okay.
time, I think it's 1,600 hours. Mm-hmm.
And part time, assuming would take maybe like 2 years or so.
Yeah, probably. It depends. You
Okay.
can either go to school at night, which I should have
Mhm.
done. Kept the normal job, but
You
I
were
was just
focused.
like,
Yeah. I respect
I
it.
told
Well,
my boss, you have 2 months to find another Jasmine because I'm gonna quit. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And like 2 months later, he's
another
like, right?
Jasmine.
She's one of a kind, man.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind me asking, how did you end up being able to pay for the school?
I ended up getting a job at this barbecue joint.
Okay, so you,
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. At this barbecue joint, it was
uh-huh.
horrible. It was so
It was
bad.
horrible.
I've never like my experience working has
Mhm.
been office jobs, so I
Mhm.
never had like a hard labor job.
Right. Right.
Sacaba, basura, barría, trapeaba. Oh my, and the basuras are my height, okay? So it was hard. So I ended up getting like
Okay.
a part-time job at a barbecue
Okay.
joint, and I smelled like
Okay.
barbecue. It
And you
kind of
just
freaked
had
me
that for the 1 year for school and then you were able to quit, or did you have to keep it a little while until you started making more money as a hairstylist?
Actually, I started working there, and I worked there for like a month and a half.
Okay.
And they wouldn't give me breaks. They wouldn't give me a
Okay.
lunch break. They wouldn't give me a 10-minute break. So I'm like, oh, I'm working 8 hours today. Like, what time's my lunch? And they were like, we don't take lunches here.
What's lunch? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, per California labor lunch. Per California labor law, I'm entitled to my lunch. So it's either 30 minutes or an hour.
You
So
said
they
I'm an
never
office bitch,
scheduled,
so I
yeah,
know.
they never scheduled me for an 8-hour shift after that. So
Oh
after that,
yeah.
they just couldn't handle it because I always had something to say. So they said, it's not working out. I was like, perfect. So I got an implement.
Wow. Hey,
That's
it
what,
worked.
look, man, you don't work for the system, you make the system work for
They
you.
Hell
they
yeah.
asked me, you know how they do an interview, like, what happened? And I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't quit. Yeah, I got fired because they wouldn't give me a break. And
Right.
I told them I was going to take my break. Like, even if I had to go to the restroom for 10, 15 minutes, I will go to the restroom for 10 minutes and just sit in there like, taking my break.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Some
Okay.
people, restaurants are not it.
Mm-hmm.
To manage people.
All right. So we're kind of caught up now too. You got an employment, you paid for school, finished school after a year,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
What happened after that? Did you have to like get a job at like a salon or were you doing it on your own?
Yeah, so after school, I graduated, but I
Mm-hmm.
had an out of pocket that my student loans didn't cover.
Okay.
So I couldn't, they wouldn't release my proof of training until I finished paying that off. So I ended up working at a like convalescent home with
Mm-hmm.
elderly, like elderly people that had dementia or Alzheimer's. They were like in their last
Mm-hmm.
stages.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a while until I paid that off. Not that
Okay.
long, for like a year. I couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Got
was,
you.
Okay. Yeah.
it was
And
bad.
then yeah. Oh, I couldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like my
But
second or third day there, I broke
mm-hmm.
down. And the lady was like, we're just here to do a job. They're here to pass away. Like, we're just here to take care of it. I'm like, I can't do it. This is not for me. So I did
That's
that
tough.
until I was able to pay that off.
Mm-hmm. And Sam knows I'm a crier. I would have been crying every day of that job.
Yeah.
Like I can't do
We
it.
all cry on this podcast.
It's happened once, okay?
You're my girl. No, I'm an open fighter. This is not one that, trust me.
Okay, so you finally got your proof of training about a year
Mhm.
after finishing school, right? And then at that point, you went solo, got a salon job, or
Yeah, so I took my test, my state board test. I
mm-hmm,
started working at a salon, and I purposely chose a salon. Like a lot of people assist. I didn't feel like I wanted to assist anybody because I felt like confident Jasmine. I got it. I don't need to be nobody's
mm-hmm,
assistant.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I didn't want to be sweeping hair. I didn't want to be doing the blow dries. No, I'm like, no, give me
taking out the
somebody.
trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no taking out trashes.
He's like, I don't pay dues. No
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just took a
Give me a
lot of
chair.
purposely that had
Mm-hmm.
more male clients coming
Okay.
because I
Mm-hmm.
sucked at cutting men's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to get you sucked at cutting men's hair. So
So
it's a
you
good
got
way to get practicing.
on training to not suck it.
Because I had extras, so
Uh-huh.
they had a problem he could come through for me.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so I did that.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I moved to Vegas, and my
Okay.
dream was to work at a salon inside the casinos.
Mhm.
Okay. Didn't even know they had salons.
Yeah, they do,
Mhm.
and they're really like uptight,
And
very
high
good.
end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I had never ever in my life been through so many interviews for a job.
Mm-hmm.
They're so strict. I had to get like a food handler's card. I had to get like an alcohol handler's card. I'm like, I'm trying to cut hair, guys. Um, I went to 2 interviews with 2 different
Mm-hmm.
people,
Mm-hmm.
a phone interview, and then they're like, okay, you're gonna come in, bring a model for a men's haircut. You're gonna do a woman's highlight, a bridal updo, a woman's haircut, a woman's blow dry. So I was literally working there a whole entire day for free. And they were just seeing how it worked.
And that was in
Right.
what, 2019, 2020, no?
Yeah, like right before COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the job.
Right. Okay.
Got the
You
job.
got the job.
Got the job. And then 3 days before I started, COVID had everything shut down. It was the worst thing ever in life.
Yeah. That really sucks.
Yeah. I had literally moved out there for this. And I went through, it was like a whole month and a half of these interviews, the stress. Like, are you going to pick me or not?
Right.
I went to orientation. They took my picture. I was waiting for my parking pass. And they called me. They're like, we're shutting down because of COVID. And they're like, we've never had something like this before. So we don't know what's the next step. So
yeah,
basically hang in there until you hear from us. And I'm like, okay.
Because everybody at the beginning thought it was like just a 2-week thing.
Yeah. So then we will like the beauty industry, like we will open up and it's like 25% capacity. Then again, it'll get bad, shut down again, open up again. So I kept calling once a week. Hi, I'm just checking in, just making sure I have my job still. When do I start? Because I'm out in rent, I have no money. Like I had my savings, but I'm still paying rent. I was running for myself. I have bills to pay, and I'm just like, COVID was just like so weird at first. Like we were scared, we didn't know what's happening. And I'm calling because it took me so long to actually get hired that I was like, oh, they're gonna hear from me once a week for sure. So I did that for a couple of months, and then finally they sent me this letter, super generic letter, saying they were letting go of all new hires because they were giving priority to the people that been there for longer. So it totally made sense, but I'm like, I call you once a week. You could have told me this over the phone, you know? So I was super devastated. I was like, this can't be happening. And, you know, sometimes you feel like things happen for a reason. So I was like, okay, maybe this was not for me. So I ended up moving back to LA. I ended up moving back to LA, and it was still COVID. We're still not working. It's still crazy out in the world.
Right.
And at the time, I had a partner, and there was a job opening working with children. And they're like, you're going to be perfect at this. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't want to do this. Like, I want to do hair. Like, this is what I wanted to do in my life. Like, I love doing hair.
Right.
And I applied, and I got the job. And I haven't looked back, like, now doing hair.
Well, what does the job do?
Okay, so to not go so much into detail.
I
work with the immigrant community, specifically minors. So I started working with children, with the immigrant community, with minors. I loved it. Then now I still work with the immigrant community, but now I'm a K-State lead, so I work from home.
Okay.
Previously it was more hands-on and stuff like that, so I love it. COVID taught me that being a hairdresser is amazing. I love it, but it's not something I want to do full time.
Okay.
Because life is rough out there, and yeah, they want to shut us down. And I knew a lot of my friends, like they were renting like little booths, or they were renting out a place, and they still had to keep paying. Like none of the payments stopped, and they couldn't do hair. So it's like I didn't want to be stuck like that, right? I was like, there's no way. So yeah, I kind of had like an unexpected career change.
But for the better.
Yeah,
like a forced. Yeah, it was like a forced career change, though. Like, like you didn't go out looking for it. It was just kind of presented to you. You took it.
Definitely, yeah.
So you said that like COVID made you realize that you didn't want to be like a hairdresser for life? And I know you said that you had friends like that had to still pay for their booth and whatnot, but like, what in particular about hairstyling did you realize during COVID, like that it's not something that is stable and backed up by like an actual job, or that you really are self-employed, and that maybe that's not something that you want to ultimately do in life? Like, what was it about that career that you were like, I actually don't want to do this full time?
Okay, yeah. So like you only like being a hairdresser if you work independently for yourself and if you're
Mhm.
charging a lot,
Mhm.
you're making money while you're working, right?
Mhm.
If you work for somebody and then you get some benefits, but as a hairdresser, you really don't have benefits. Like people
Mhm.
have like their leave, their sick time, they were putting in their sick time. I had nothing. I had nothing. I was out there and I had nothing. So
Mhm.
definitely I wanted some benefits.
Okay.
Um, I wanted like more job security.
Right. Okay.
Because as a hairdresser, like if you work for yourself, like if you're out here hustling, booking your clients, then you have money. But if you're
Mhm.
not, then you can't really rely on walk-ins sometimes.
Mhm.
So yes, I loved it, but I'm like, I can't do this. This cannot be it for me in life. Like,
Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
So it's
I
definitely
got you.
back up in life. I love it. I
Mhm.
enjoy it. I
Mhm.
still do it,
Mhm.
but not full time.
Got you. Sam, was there something you wanted to say?
Nothing. I love hearing her story. I think,
Mhm.
she had a lot of adversity and she pulled out, she made it through and she continues to make it through. She makes an
Mhm.
impact every day.
Mhm.
Even on the weeks that she has like a hard time at work, she'll be like, oh, this week was so hard. I've been working. I'm discovering this and this. Even on those weeks, like I hope you realize that you're making a difference.
Aw. So this job that you have now that you've been doing 2 or 3, well, 3 or 4 years now, right? It was around the time of COVID, right?
Yeah, so I did my past job for a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
That was more hands on, like being working from home. I have a year and a month
Mm-hmm.
already
Is
officially.
is this something you feel like you want to do long term? You know, you see yourself retiring in it, or is there something else you have in mind that you want to pursue?
No, I definitely see myself doing this long term.
Mhm.
Um, and just because it's so rewarding, like my past job when I was more hands on, like I love and enjoyed my job
Mhm.
every day.
Mhm.
Like you know how you have some jobs that in the morning you wake up like, oh, I gotta go to
Yeah, yeah,
work.
yeah.
So I didn't feel like that. Like I loved
Uh
it. My
huh.
sleeping schedule was super messed up because I was traveling. Now that I'm working from home, it's really
Mhm.
rewarding.
Mhm.
Um, when I actually interviewed for this job, I didn't interview as a lead. I interviewed as a regular case aide,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and they called me and they're like, "We think based on like your background, your resume, your past experience, that you will be a great fit as a lead. Are you interested? Are you interested?" And I'm like, I sure. Like, what? What are you talking about? So they interviewed me and I got it. So when I started, I was hustling. I was like
Mhm.
really, really hustling.
Mhm.
Because for like unlike Samantha here, I don't have all these degrees.
Wait, she's like, did you say that? Because who's Samantha?
Samantha. Unlike her,
No,
I don't
she
have all these
wait,
degrees.
wait, wait, wait. She calls me Samantha.
Oh,
Her and
Okay.
my parents are one of the few people that call me Samantha, and then she's like Samantha.
you know, Olaf was like, Samantha.
Yeah. Wait, who's Samantha?
Yeah. So it's like, Samantha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Anyway,
unlike Samantha, what?
I like Samantha. I don't have all this education to back me up. Like, I don't have these
Mhm.
degrees. So,
Mhm.
for my previous job, you needed a bachelor's degree. But because it was
Okay.
COVID and people did not want to get out the house, I
Mhm.
was given the opportunity.
Mhm.
So, with my current job, you needed a bachelor's and
Mhm.
minimum. And I was like, so a lot of the time, like my jobs that I've gotten, I've been lucky because they go based on my job history and like me,
Right.
like what I've accomplished on my own. So I
Mhm.
was really hustling. I was like,
Mhm.
you chose the right one. I'm gonna show you chose
Right.
the right one.
Right.
And I've just grown a lot. I've grown a lot, a lot.
That's really
I was
good.
the only lead. And I say lead and they titled me as lead, but we're pretty much like a supervisor. Like we pretty
Mhm.
much have a whole team. We do everything.
Mhm.
Um, I started off with the company and I was the only lead. We broke
Mhm.
up into 3 different regions now.
Mhm.
And yeah, I kind of helped train everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Look at
we've
you.
really come a long way. And I've grown a lot professionally. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Okay,
feel
that's
it.
awesome.
Yeah. It's just kind of hard sometimes when you like have a different upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mhm.
you're feisty, you're like ready to fight everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Right.
come to a professional setting and you're like, tone it down. And
No,
then like
that's me.
yes, and then I'm a lead and then like I have a group of people that I'm leading
Mm-hmm.
and yo soy bien impulsiva, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, here, let's
Mhm.
go, let's do this. If I could do it, you could do it. We're gonna do this, we're gonna get it done. And there's some people that I had to learn how to change and adjust myself in the way I am
Mhm.
and my
Mm-hmm.
approach because
Mhm.
there's some people that are not like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had
Right.
people that are older than me that they can't learn that quick or they can't follow my flow. And I have to just like, okay, Jasmine, step back. We're gonna rethink this. How are we gonna do this? So
Mhm.
I've grown a lot, and Samantha is living proof of this. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, she's like, I'm like Samantha. I've learned how to get some patience. I don't know from where, but
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mhm.
learned.
No, yeah,
That's really
for sure.
good. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
guess we can kind of dive into podcast themed questions, right? As far as, hairstyling was your original dream, right?
Mhm.
And then, with your mom, cuz we talked about moms a few episodes, right? But with your mom, talking about like eso no es una carrera, right? Like you shouldn't go into that, right? What do you feel like, or not to like disrespect anybody's parents, right? Because we're all just looking out for our kids, right? But how do you feel like you would approach, or you would have rathered like your mom approach, like reply to you when you're like, hey, I want to pursue this, and then she may not think it's a true career, but
Mhm.
this is my child's dreams. Like, how would you have rather like your mother support you, and do you feel like that would have changed anything?
Yeah, I definitely feel that if she would have supported me, I would have jumped right into it since I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably wouldn't have had such a hard time going back to school
Mm-hmm.
after so many years and learning how to.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn how to study again. I didn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
study. Like it might sound crazy, but you have to learn
No,
how to
yeah.
study. Um, so you know what, my mom, she has really been supportive,
Mm-hmm.
but like first generation here from my parents that came and they like came to this country as immigrants, they have these expectations for their children, like mi hija va a ser una doctora, una
Doctora.
astronauta. I'm like, and I told her that, like when I'm like, and I told her like, Mom, I wish you would have supported me because I know you came to this country
Yeah.
looking for a better life. You had us here for us to become something more and
Yeah.
have more opportunities than you.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, I don't want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
just because you came here doesn't mean. And then she was just like, she just thought about it. She's like, you're right, but I just wanted the best for you. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, but the best,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's something that I wanted to do. So I did wish I had the support of her
Mm-hmm.
at that time, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. And I did talk to her about it, and it would have changed everything. It would have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know what? Things happen for a reason, and
Mm-hmm.
because things happened the way they did, I am where I am now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of
Okay, go.
okay, I've been to other people that have all these degrees, but they've never worked, so they don't have no experience. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like my experience helps me out a lot.
Mm-hmm. This career that you're in now, is that something when like that when you were coming out of high school, did you like not really know about this career or that you'd be interested in it at all? That's why you didn't pursue it, or like you it's just something brand new, you had no idea about it and you ended up falling in love with it.
Yeah, I feel like I never really realized um, a lot of fields that help the immigrant community.
Mhm.
Maybe because I didn't really saw my mom getting any help.
Mhm.
So you don't realize things are out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now that I know about it, I love it and I want to stay long term in it
Mhm.
because it's just really rewarding and it's just a lot that goes like in play. Like
Mhm.
they're minors, they're immigrants, and you read and hear some stories that han sufrido mucho. Like they come from. I have little girls that can't go to school in their home country because their
Mhm.
mother didn't take them, or like they're exposed to all these things. They can't. Little boys can't go to school because they want to be. They're trying to get recruited for gangs and stuff. They
Mhm.
come here. They suffer a long, long way without getting food or getting lost or getting kidnapped. Like there's
Mhm.
so much that you really don't think about, they go through so much. And now my job now is like we provide resources for them, any help if they, suffered any type of abuse in their home country or on the way here. And
Mhm.
just providing resources and it's just really rewarding.
Mhm.
Um, and I really like it and I'm pretty good at it. So yes.
That's right. Whenever you started getting into this career and realizing that it's something you wanted to do full time and kind of leave hairdressing as a side gig, right? Was there, although you love what you're doing now, was there any kind of internal guilt from like kind of giving up your dream of being a full time hairstylist, of going back to Vegas? Like, was there any kind of like that guilt of like, man, I'm giving up on this, but in reality, like you found something new to love?
Yeah. No, you know what? I don't feel like I gave up on it. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I wanted to do it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school and I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And in school, I was in like so many like little side, what would I call it?
Clubs.
Yeah, like clubs. I was in clubs. I was on like, we would do runway shows. Like we would do like skid row events. Like we would
Mm-hmm.
get free haircuts to like shelters but women that have been abused. I did so much and I
Yeah, a lot of
loved it.
experience there. Hmm.
Yeah, and I went for it, and I moved, and I got it.
Hmm.
I didn't fail. I got it, but
Hmm.
just life and circumstances in life didn't let me achieve everything that I had planned. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna do this. I I had the opportunity. I got it, but
Hmm.
it was just a drastic change. So I don't feel like I failed at it. I feel like
Hmm.
I got what I wanted, and I learned from
Right.
it. And I
Right.
still do it. And I still do Samantha's hair. I do a lot of people's hair, and I love
Yeah.
what I do still.
Right.
So
Right.
I
It's
don't
like
feel like,
there's a quote, I don't know it word for word, but when people say that like if you tried something and it didn't work out, it's not that it failed, it succeeded for that amount of years. It's just
mhm,
Yeah.
that at that point you moved on to something else.
yes,
Yeah. And I think I wouldn't call it a failure. I think she still does it. She has
yeah,
Hmm.
clients and
Right.
she's booked when she's booked. And I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
I mean, it's the
she's
best of
still
both
living
worlds at this
like,
point.
yeah.
yeah,
And I feel like she's still living both dreams, you know. She's
Hmm.
still doing her hair, but now she's doing this other avenue that she found that was really meaningful to her, and
Hmm.
mhm.
she's doing great at it, you know. She's being successful.
Look at you, two dreams at once.
I
That's a
know.
badass.
That's the dream. That's the dream that it was kind of like just came. Like I never
Yeah.
really thought about it,
Hmm.
Right.
and it just
But
came
that's
up.
good. That's good that you didn't
Probably
like
meant
turn
to be.
away. Yeah, that you didn't turn away this opportunity. It was new. It might have been scary. Or were you scared at the beginning to hop into this completely new career?
I was just because I was like, what am I gonna be doing? And then
Mhm.
like I always like loved kids, but I don't feel like I had the patience for it. Uh, but it's just so different. Like,
Uh-huh.
I much rather work with kids than like sometimes dealing with adults. I'm like, oh, good God.
Right.
Yeah. So for like my past job when I got started, I
Mm-hmm.
used all my Spanish. All my
Mm-hmm.
Spanish. Used
Mm-hmm.
it all. So I lost a lot of my English. Like when I started this new job, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so Spanglish. And I'm like, I'm so sorry because with my kids, I would just speak Spanish. And
Uh-huh.
my Spanish is not because my parents are from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Mexican, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
my Spanish was like Mexican Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But with my kids, I was like, they were from Honduras, El Salvador, like Central American countries. So I, my Spanish is a little bit crazy now.
She's got a little bit of this, a little bit
It's
of
a
that,
mixture.
a little
Yeah,
bit of
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because they wouldn't understand. Like we speak Spanish, but the Spanish is not the same.
Yeah, the different
Right.
dialects and
Like
stuff, for sure.
they would ask me, I'm like, oh, que, como que van a querer comer los voy a comprar. Oh no, they just wanted black beans and rice, and I'm like, why would I just black beans and rice? Sometimes like certain places where we're at, so sometimes I'll find a burrito. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
got the beans, got the rice. So then I'll be like, oh, les gusta pico de gallo, les gusta queso, and they're like, pico de gallo, ¿qué es eso? And I'm like, my comadre, she's from Honduras, so she calls it chimol.
Mm.
And I'm like, ¿tú
Uh,
sabes qué es chimol? Oh, sí, sí, señorita. Es chimol. Digo, así se llama pico de gallo. Yeah, so it's like a lot of like slang that I've learned and
Mm-hmm.
picked up. So sometimes my
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm Mexican. And they're like, are you? Because
like,
these words are not like, they're like
I'm
Central
just
American words.
a
I'm like,
multicultural Mexican.
yeah.
exactly.
I'm
I've been
like,
around,
I'm
you
like,
know?
Yeah,
listen, this is my Spanish. Yeah, that's
that's really cool. What would you say? I know you want to stay in this career like long term, right? But like this opportunity was planted to you, something else might be given to you, right?
it.
So just in general, for the 50 listeners that we have, what's like?
Girl, let's not picture our listeners. 50 is better than 0. We
Hell
appreciate every
yeah.
single one of you.
what
Anyway,
what like what like advice or tips would you give to somebody who might be about to start a new career, something completely different, and they're scared? Sam, it honestly leads into our next episode, but like, how
yeah.
would you help somebody conquer their fear of starting something new and just actually just go for it? Like, what advice do you have?
I would just say to not listen to other people, even though, like, it's your main support, like your mother, your
Mm-hmm.
parents. Believe in yourself and don't give up. Because honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like, half of the stuff that I got into in life, I had no idea what the heck I
Mm-hmm.
was doing. I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea. And you just have to believe in yourself because that goes a long way. A long way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't got it, if you believe that you got it, you got it. You're gonna get it
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So just believe in yourself. And another thing is that never lose your Spanish, guys. Like, listen, I remember growing up, like my mom would be like, "A mí me vas a hablar en español," and I'm like, "Oh, mom, are you serious?" You know, like
Mm-hmm.
we're bratty, we don't understand, but having our second language and
Mm-hmm.
being able to be fluently speaking Spanish and English, it's
Mm-hmm.
such a big thing. Like it really helps
Mm-hmm.
out in the world and in jobs. And you just like vales por dos, you know, you can speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And you could
And yeah, so just believe in yourself. Keep practicing the Spanish, even though sometimes we get looked at like sideways.
I
Talk
love
about
it.
it, we need to speak Spanish. And yeah, don't give up on yourself. Don't give
Hmm.
up on yourself. Believe in yourself, and you'll make it somehow.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah, sometimes like
Ah.
I have that with my team sometimes because I had a lady that she did not believe in herself. And I'm like,
Hmm.
honey, it doesn't matter what I tell you. If you don't believe in yourself, this is not going to
Hmm.
get done.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I became like a freaking mentor and I'm like, coach right there. I'm like, yeah,
Motivational
let's
speaker.
get this
Yeah.
done. Yeah, so it really makes a huge,
It
huge
does.
difference.
It does.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And especially if you're breaking down, like we had talked about last time I was with you,
Hmm.
um, like our bubbles, my
Hmm.
family, or her family, her mom. like, she was like, don't escape the bubble. Like, do what I know is going to make you successful.
Right.
But then she's like, no, I'm going to pop it, you know? And then she came out and she's, I mean, not to go too much into it, but she's the main provider of her household. You know, she supports her mom. She does that. And like, even though her mom didn't want her to do whatever, she's still able to be that for her, you know?
What the mom ultimately wanted her to do, she just didn't know this path existed to get there.
Yes. Yeah. And that Jasmin could have what she wanted, but then also still be really successful in another field.
Yeah.
That's really good, because a lot of people do give into that pressure of, you know, I want to make my parents proud. I need to go down the career that my parents want me to do. And then they go to school for 5, 6, 8 years, right? Become a doctor, and then they're miserable, right? And then they have like a little midlife crisis and they quit, and then they start doing what they actually love, right? And it's just like, I feel like so important to, like we've talked about, if your parents are in your support system or in your bubble, to listen to them, but to make sure that you're listening to yourself more, as far as like, I'm young, I may not ultimately know that this is going to be the best for me, but I know that this is what I love, and I'm like aware enough to not go down a path that like I have no interest with, like a doctor, lawyer, astronaut. Right? So I think it's like really important to be aware of that, and like to not be scared to go against your parents' wishes, which is tough.
And let's say they did pursue it and they didn't like it. At least you tried it. At least you tried it, and at least you went out there and put yourself out there and experienced it, because sometimes we need to experience things to get that experience. You need to go through things, you know.
Right.
Like for my first jobs, like I could tell you that I sucked at math. Throughout high school, I had to redo it in summer school. I sucked. And my first jobs were like all this math. I was accounts payable, and when I started, I interviewed when I started in my first day of work. I remember I was like, ¿Qué vas a hacer? ¿En qué te metiste? So I know my 10 key, like on a computer, the numbers. I'm not a touch typer, but yo me lo sé así, because I was like, I'm gonna make this math right here, right now. Yeah, so a lot of times, like, you just have to believe in yourself, because half the time, and I can tell you, entraba cosas a panzazo, and I'm like, Jasmin, how are we gonna get through that?
Yeah.
And you just
sometimes you're in a position where you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
Definitely.
Okay. Sam, any other questions, comments, concerns?
No, I'm good. I just want to thank you for being on here. Thank you, Ashley, too. I appreciated this episode. I feel like I learned so much more about my friend.
Yes. No, it's awesome, because like once people start like take tequila and start like talking, and then they realize that one chain leads to the other, leads to like the Vegas thing. I was not expecting. Like Sam told me like hairdresser, and now works with immigrants, right? So I'm like, I was not expecting that jump to Vegas and all that stuff. Like, damn, you got the job, fucking COVID. So no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yes, thank you so much for being on the episode of Aquí Soñamos. Was there anything else you wanted to say or leave on, or you know, a little remember Jasmin by this type of quote?
The Jasmin show. Definitely just follow your dreams, believe in yourself, and since I work with the immigrant community, don't be mean to people. Don't be mean to people. Because sometimes it's so judgmental, and we don't know people's struggles, people with their like, everybody's fighting a silent battle. So just be kind to one another and believe in yourself. And even if you think you don't got this, you got this. You put it on the universe, and it's gonna happen.
Yes, it is.
It's falling in place for you.
That's awesome.
Stay positive.
100%.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes.
Love it. It was pretty nerve-wracking, but if you guys provide shots, I'm sure any other guests, you guys wouldn't have a problem.
Good to know. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening. Appreciate you all. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe.
right?
Sure, comment wherever you want to comment.
Yes, share
Email
the
us if you want to be
episode.
a guest.
Yes,
Don't be jealous of Jasmine. But yes, everybody, thank you for listening, and
yeah,
we'll see you on the next episode.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.